I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we moved through an artificial deadline, an artificial timeline to produce something to meet a deadline rather than to actually try to produce the best bill for the country.
Which is why I voted for the bill. Another profile in courage in the United States Senate. In the end, it was Vice President J.D. Vance casting the tie-breaking vote to pass the legislation and throw upwards of 17 million people off their Medicaid and Affordable Care Act health insurance. 17 million people, just to give a tax break to the rich and unlimited resources to the Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security. The legislation is just going to brutalize the poor and working class, a community J.D. Vance once pretended to represent until he was taken under the wing of billionaires like Peter Thiel. Ahead of passage of the bill, the Yale Budget Lab released a report on its effects, which found that the changes made to taxes, Medicaid, and food assistance will cause the bottom 20% of income earners to be even poorer. Their incomes are projected to decline by 2.9%, or roughly $700 a year, under this bill. Meanwhile, the top 1% of earners will see their incomes go up by 1.9%, or about $30,000 extra a year. So this marks an enormous transfer of wealth from the bottom to the very top, courtesy of congressional Republicans. In addition to wrecking Medicaid and food assistance, the bill also sabotages the already meager U.S. response to global warming by phasing out clean energy tax credits that incentivize companies to reduce carbon emissions and individuals to buy cleaner vehicles and make their homes more efficient. It also includes language mandating more land sales for fossil fuel development, timber extraction, and coal burning. Greenpeace called it a, quote, bill that will live in infamy. The legislation also casts aside millions of student borrowers by shutting down programs that offered loan cancellations if the students were defrauded by a for-profit school. And it slashes funding for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, leaving customers more susceptible to getting scammed by banks. There's a lot more awful stuff in it, but one small, tiny, minuscule way the bill was improved by the Senate is that provision that would have barred states and local governments from regulating artificial intelligence industries for a decade. That was stripped out. An amendment to remove it passed the chamber 99-1. The lone vote to keep the AI deregulatory measure was Senator Tom Tillis, who thankfully is retiring soon. Anyway, the bill now heads back to the House, where it will have to be approved again before it can head to President Trump's desk. If it's changed at all by House lawmakers, then it has to go back to the Senate. Our only hope is that there are enough crank Republicans in the House who are upset that the Senate bill doesn't go further in immiserating the poor, that they decide to vote it down. With only a narrow majority in the House, the party can't afford many defections. Democrats would be in a better position to capitalize on any Republican losses had they not populated their own caucus with aging and sick Crypt Keeper legislators. 3 House Democrats have died in office already this year, taking with them critical no votes and lowering the threshold Republicans need to pass legislation. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.